Thanks for joining me today. It's good to see you. Today, I want to discuss some character designs from Mario Kart World. In particular, we are going to take a look at Peach, as that is the character that I have seen has had the best and most consistent through line for her character designs. We're going to discuss this from an educational and artistic standpoint, so if you are interested in character design or game development, then hopefully this video will interest you. But also, if you're just interested in games and what goes into the process of creating art, designing characters, and you're just a gamer, then hopefully this video is just for you too. Now, before we get into the actual character designs and discussing those things, I wanted to try a few things. Now, I really enjoy the mechanic of eating food and then unlocking new alts. As you can tell, this is my default alt. There's nothing really all that interesting about it. So I got a couple food items here and I do want to try them. The first I'm going to try is junket. If you haven't heard of this, this is like a wartime 1930s, 1940s dessert. It's so sparse. It's bare bones. We'll start out with this and we'll see what kind of alt I get. So here we go. Whoa! This is old-timey. Check out this tie. I look like I'm from the 50s. Oh, I'm gonna change out of this before I say something racist. What have I got? Let's see. Oh, I have some popcorn. Let's eat that and see what happens. Oh, this is sick, a gold suit. I look like the sixth member in a Sentai team. All right, awesome. This is really cool. Gold alt looks really good. Nice. Hey, next we've got pineapple chunks. Okay, we'll see what happens if I eat a can of pineapple chunks. Whoa, this is a bright yellow suit. A red tie, is it? Yes! Donkey Kong tie. Oh. Thank God it was just a banana in my pocket. Well, we can get rid of that. All right, what is next is burrito kit. Oh no, please don't let this be racist. Please don't let this be something racist. Oh. No, 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 no. The last time I was this guy, people didn't get the joke and they got mad at me. No. Next. Next. Oh, no way. It's a JoJo's reference. How cool is that? Oh, there's something in the pocket. Nice, a stand arrowhead. You can save that for a future video. I've got time for one more alt change here. Uh-oh. Oh, man. I really hope this isn't racist. Please don't be racist. Please don't be racist. Whoa. Dang. Is this stretch wool? Thin lapels, modern suit. Ooh, this is nice. You know, I'm thinking I might actually stick with this suit. My last food item looks like it's Native American related, and I don't know if Capcom is involved with development, but if they are, it's going to turn out really offensive. So let's just go ahead and get started on the character design analysis. All right, and we're set. One more thing before we get started here. You guys know that I don't take ad sponsorships here. I don't even have channel memberships. I don't ask people to support me on Patreon. So I don't do ad reads. I don't try to sell you things like that. This channel is just here so we can hang out and we can talk gaming. I can share my projects with you. But I want to share something with you that I think is very cool. The other night I went to dinner with friends and their son, who's not a kid, he's a working professional. We ended up talking and he shared his game with me. So he actually makes a game and he updates it every day. It's a word puzzle game. I had a hard time figuring out at dinner because we were busy talking. It's something you actually have to sit. You look at the tutorial. I'll put it on screen here. But basically you are given tiles and you have to spell words so you can connect the top word to the bottom word here. It's really satisfying. It took me a couple tries and then I eventually figured it out. Again, he updates it every single day. It's really cool. I'll put the link in the description. It's totally free. I miss it every other day or so, but I try to check in and you can challenge your friends. You can send your score through. It's really cool. Again, not an ad sponsorship. I just met someone who's really cool who also made a game and I wanted to share their game with you. So give that a try. So with Mario Kart World, there's so many different ways to enjoy your favorite characters here. So the reason why I want to specifically take a look at Peach is she has a very specific color palette that stays quite consistent, and it is done in a way that really basically shows us the very basic rules of character design when it comes to composition, color choices, and placement. Now we're going to start out with this one. I don't exactly know all the names of these outfits off the top of my head, so we are just going to just refer to them by number. This is number 1. This is an interesting outfit. Now, it's important when you're taking a look at characters, especially your own characters, or if you see characters in other games, is to set the image into grayscale, and you can see the color tones. The tone is either light, medium, or dark. When you are designing your characters, you should have light, medium, dark, and you can build your characters to have an interesting visual composition just based on those things. So we'll go ahead and point out our midtones here. Her skin is really the midtone. We have our darker tones here, which are being used sparingly. And something I've noticed with her designs in general is there isn't a huge harshness between her tones, but they are well considered and evenly distributed, and she does not have flat tonality. We have this, which can also be considered a dark tone, so you can see the sorry, my lines are a little confusing. Let me be more considerate about that. Let's go ahead and mark her midtones first. We have our midtones. Basically, you can see the distribution of horizontal layers. Then we will look at our darker tones here, here, they're here, and here. And then our highlight tones, we have a highlight here, verticality, and horizontal there. Her eyes can be seen as a highlight, the whites of the eyes, which in this case, because it's quite an expressive character and it's quite dominant in terms of composition, that can be viewed as a highlight. And here, so you can see that these tones are distributed quite evenly throughout the character, and there is consistency with that. There's cohesion, there's visual cohesion, because they're not just using that in one spot. It would look pretty bad if there was only one dark use of the dark tone here and then not anywhere else, but you can see that it is used in layers across the character evenly, and it looks great. Also, her eyelashes can be considered, that looks evil, I shouldn't have done that. The dark tones are evenly distributed, and the midtones are more of a palette cleanser. So let's go ahead and get back to our color tones, or our colors here. So this would be quite boring without this. This actually does a significant amount of heavy lifting because it is a color that complements the pink. Otherwise, we basically have pink, 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 and pink, and you have her skin tone and hair. And because the colors are quite similar, it's very dull. But we have the shorts, which are in the very center of the character, which forms a sort of anchor and makes the character visually interesting without looking overly complicated or cluttered. I don't want to give this design a grade. I'm going to give this an A. Now we have these earrings here, and I'm not sure if the earrings are consistent, if they're meant to be a turquoise. That is interesting. It's an interesting choice. To me, it clashes a bit because this is quite blue, and you have this turquoise, which is a green. So to me, it clashes a little bit. It adds a little bit of visual dissonance, but because there's so much use of similar colors in the pink, I actually think this is a good idea just to add more visual interest to the character. My knee-jerk reaction would be make the earrings the same color as the jeans, but I can see that in doing that, it's going to make her look quite monotonous and plain. So I actually think this is a great idea. A small detail that we see here is that her eyes are basically the exact same color as the jorts here. This is a fantastic design. What I really like is the use of the dark tones are actually used more as an accent, which is very interesting. So this is actually a dark accent here, which is a fascinating choice. Very interesting. Generally, you have these highlights here and your accent belt buckle. So you have your dark tones as basically being used as an accent, and they are on the knee pads, the back of the knee pads. They're really fantastic. Now, I just want to step through this really quickly. Okay, we've done something here it's gone crazy. Let's go ahead and just close out of that. I guess we're done looking at that. I've clicked a button here and I'm not sure what it is. We'll move on to the next one. So this is fascinating. Oh, I understand. Suddenly everything makes sense. This is fantastic. You see the turquoise that she had on her previous alt is now represented on the top of this outfit here. Really fantastic. And you can see the earrings are no longer turquoise. They are the blue. Her jorts were this blue color, but now we have, so let's go ahead and mark out our colors. We have the blue earrings with the blue shoes, or the blue high heels, which gives us visual cohesion because we are representing that color and tone in another place of the character as well. We have visual cohesion with the gold bracelet, the gold belt buckle, which is the same color. Let me clean up my lines. Apologies for that. The gold and the hair are the same color. That gives us visual cohesion. We have the white collar here, the white trim on the sleeves, and the white at the bottom of the pants. Nice visual cohesion, good distribution of highlights. This is a more reserved, again, these designs are not overly complicated. I've seen some of the other designs, especially for Mario, and I don't think that they have this level of, basically this is the best kind of simplicity, because this boils down to how do you do character design correctly without making it sloppy and overly detailed. I personally feel Mario's designs are a little bit overly detailed. They're fun, they're not bad in any way, but I think Peach shows us this is how you do character design. There's no over design to it. Obviously we have the pink, which is her signature color, seen there and there, but it's also used quite vertically in this way as well. This is actually, I actually think, oh, this might be a better design than the other. I don't want to give these grades, but I'm just going to give it a small plus. It's not a big plus. It's a small plus. I should have started at B for the last one. I don't know why I started at A. I actually like this one better than the other one. This one's quite good. Okay, now we finished that one. We'll close out of it. I actually hopped around. Hey, this is a really cool design. Now this is interesting because the turquoise is not here, and this is fascinating. You know what? I'm willing to bet that the brim of the hat has a band which has the turquoise on it. I can't see it from here, but I'm willing to bet that. Maybe we should look at that later. This is an interesting design because it inverts her colors. Normally, the pink is used as the prominent primary color, the blue is used as a secondary, and white is used as an accent color. Here we have blue taking center stage, and it occupies a huge amount of the character, but we do have the highlights of the gloves, so when her hands are sort of down, they do represent some breakup of that color horizontally because we have the white of the gloves there. We have the gold buttons being used as accent, and of course they go and form cohesion with the hair. We have the blue earrings, which are the same as the overalls, and again, excellent use of pink. We have pink on the top as we see sleeves and the collar, and pink on the boots. Now here's a very small subtle detail that's very easy to miss. I'll just go ahead and grayscale that. So this is actually one of the more reserved in terms of tonality. It's not flat and dull, but it's reserved. There is something that we see here. There is a darker color that we see on the band of her gloves just here. And if we look at the bottom of the character, that's the same tone and color at the bottom of the boots. Nice visual cohesion, again, representing those colors and tones somewhere else on the character. That is strong visual cohesion. Very nice. It's very subtle, hard to tell. I really like this design. Oh, I think I like this better than the other one. No. I think I'll just give this a normal A. No, that's fine. Okay, let's have a look at the next design. Now this is interesting. Okay, this is another inversion of her colors. That's fascinating. Okay, but we actually have prominent representation of black, which is not something that we see often on her characters. So here, normally white is used as an accent color for Peach, but we have an inversion of color theming. White is now the primary color of the design here. Pink is used as a secondary, but instead of horizontal lines, we actually make use of verticality for the distribution of those colors. Her arms have the verticality, and we have the black stripe as verticality there. I do like the use of yellow on the palms. It keeps the gloves from looking dull. Again, the yellow will form cohesion with her hair, the crown on the hat, and also these little patches here. Now, if we did not have the patches on these characters, these gold patches, the character would look significantly more dull. So this is strong character design. This is a very good decision to put those. To make the point, I'm going to paint over those, and we will see just how dull the character looks without those gold patches. We'll paint over that. Just like so. And you can see how much more dull that looks. That feels like it's missing something. That looks quite empty. So that's, again, this is what I mean when I say the Peach designs in this game teach us about good character design. We have the use of black, which is represented here, here, and here. Again, they are all the same color and tone. They're not shifting them and making slightly different from each other. We have her name in blue here, blue, 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 and blue here. So we're distributing that, but now blue has taken a backseat. It is now an accent color. This is very interesting inversion of color theming. And again, of course, blue in the eyes. So really, really fantastic. You know, when I first saw this design in the game, I did not think it was that interesting because you don't get to really see it unless you zoom in on it. But now that I'm taking a look at this, this is a great design. And of course, you know, we have the pink for these souls. It's a slightly different shade from here and here, and of course we'll represent that as here as well. Great cohesion, great color representation, and it just makes the character really feel like a coherent composition. I really do like this design. Maybe not my favorite one. I might give this like a B. I'm not even supposed to be giving these grades. It's good, but for me personally, it's not my favorite. It's well done. B is not bad. Okay, hey, this is okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay, I like this because it's quite similar to her default in that it's quite familiar in terms of the shape, but it's different enough to make her look casual as opposed to this formal princess. So I do actually quite like this design. Let's just have a look at our tones here in terms of the grayscale. So we have our highlights, our midtones. This is a midtone, the whole thing, midtone. Midtone, her hair is actually, you know, it's darker than a midtone, but this is actually a midtone up here. So we don't have a lot of dark tones here, really. We basically just have the eyelashes here, which is such an interesting decision. And I believe they've done this to make the character look more delicate. Obviously, this is a dainty, delicate design where something like her racer outfit makes her look dynamic and punchy. So this is a situation where, yes, this lacks tonal dynamic, but it is still doing its job of telling us what this character is. It is telling us what is this character's thought process, attitude, personality. This is a dainty character going out sightseeing. She doesn't need to be dynamic and strong and punchy. She looks, you know, more feminine. And this is a situation where having less dynamic contrast in a thoughtful way is well considered. I think this is quite a good design. We have the use of the sort of I mean, that's more of a mid-tone. I would have liked to see this maybe be a little bit darker just to match this a little bit. But really, Okay, so that this is more of a separation of the character. It's in the middle. That's one of the darker tones really there. And it's really her neck bandana, her tie, and her skirt here. That, is it a camisole? No, this is not a camisole. Oh, the hat is basically the same color as the shirt. And of course the blue earrings. The blue is just right. I personally would have liked to see blue on these shoes there. And I'm not saying they've done a bad job. I'm just feeling something's missing a little bit. And I personally would have liked to see, I just would have liked to see that be blue here. I'm just going to do, I'm not saying that I would do a better job. I'm not saying that they've done a bad job. I'm absolutely not saying that. They've done a fantastic job. I just want to see what the sandals look like if they would be blue. And again, I'm not saying that this is bad or that I would do a better job. I think they've done a great job. Hold on, that's too dark. Okay, let's just lighten that up a little bit. Okay, here we go. That's it. That's too dark still. Okay, just color that. I just want to see what this will look like. And then of course we'll take a step back. It's good to do exercises like this because you can check whether you are right or wrong. I might find out that I'm wrong and that I don't feel like that works well. Oh. Okay, I actually prefer this. I prefer it with the blue. I prefer it with the blue high heels. So, you know, I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying I prefer that for me personally. I don't want to give this a bad score. This design, it's coherent, but for me personally, it's not one of my favorite designs. B- on that, you know. Okay, this is a very cool design. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, we have strong use of verticality with the stripes here. I'm gonna go ahead and just increase the brush size here so it's easier to see. Great use of verticality there. Oh, I really like this. Let's just take a look at our vertical lines. We have them on the sleeve. Then we have our horizontal usage here, the horizontal line there, a horizontal line there. Really great. And then verticality with that. Now let's look at our horizontal use of white. So we break up the pink with this. We have a horizontal line with the soles of the shoes there. This is a strong design. I really like this. A silver accent with the buckle. We have the gold pendant here that matches the crown. We have the blue, 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 blue. Very strong visual cohesion, very strong representation here. Great distribution, very well considered distribution of color. We have the gem here, which matches the scarf, the gloves, the boots. This is great. This is excellent. Again, the other racing outfit looked quite busy. It was just a little too busy and messy for me. This is everything you need to do to make your character look correct. I can tell that there's also a white trim on the glove here. Great to use trim. The trim matches the... I'm getting a little... I notice my volume, my audio levels are getting a little louder here because this is an excellent design. This is not complicated. Just in terms of design philosophy, this is perfect. And this is a normal size plus. It's not a small plus. That's a normal plus. Really great. This is great. Well done. Yeah, I think this tells us, this teaches us how to design a character well. Great work. Again, I do like the inversion of colors where white and pink are actually sharing. There isn't really a secondary color. White and pink are both the primary in this situation because they're so evenly distributed. Great. I like seeing color inversions in terms of the color themes here. Great. I really like that design. Now this is an interesting one because we no longer make use of her pink, which is her identifying color. We basically just have, and it's different with pattern. Patterning is different, means you don't really adhere to the rules of when you need to adhere to your color theming, the color themes that you're known for. We have the turquoise here, but it's a bit darker, and the turquoise on the sandals here. So there is some cohesion there. We have the blue of the earrings, and again, still matching her eyes. We got a boo. So she no longer has her crown, but she's often wears a headpiece. So we have the boo mask worn off to the side, which is good. It's good cohesion for her kimono because it's white, so it's matching, and the fire flowers do add some visual interest. I do like this though. The yellow does complement the hair a bit in terms of distributing the yellow. So yellow for the hair, yellow for the little inside accent marks, green, and we basically never see Peach with that kind of green because of the patterning. You can do so much more with the character. We have this gold tie here, which is a darker tone, but it does match the hair. Let's just go ahead and grayscale that. And I do like this because you can see you have the dark tone here, and you have the mid-tone of the skin, and the highlights of the brightest tones go out the whole way. But because we have the fire flowers, again, dark tone, dark tone, dark tone, dark tone, and then mid-tones, you know, the face of the flower are mid-tones. This is an interesting design. I quite like this. It's good to see them step away from their color theming where everything is pink, pink, pink. This is great. I actually really like this. I'd give it a B. I'd give it a B. Yeah. I said I was supposed to be giving this okay. Yes, I like this. I like this a lot. So we have her core colors with something new, brown. We generally don't see Peach with brown. So let's go ahead and take a look. Of course, her core color, her primary color is pink, and that is used, it's the most prominent color used on the character here, and that is broken up with horizontal lines as seen here. We have the highlight, but also we have the darker tones. We have the light tones and the dark tones layered together to break that up. Really great. And of course we have the buckle there as an accent. We have horizontal breakup here on the trim of the glove, and we have the brown that is distributed and represented here along the head. Of course, the gloves and the boots. Fantastic. We have the accent of the gold on the buckles there, and of course the gold is also used here and here. Great, great distribution. This is the most basic way you can do it. It is the most correct way to handle character design. We have just smaller details. Again, this doesn't super matter, but we have things like seam lines where you can see that, you know, this is where the material would have been sewn together. We can see those seam lines there. It's interesting to have those, especially in Mario characters where in general, Mario designs don't include details like that, like seam lines and whatnot. Maybe in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, we would have seen that, but we've taken a more expressive and cartoony approach recently. So it's nice to see those kinds of details. We do have a metal zipper here that'll catch the light in a shiny way. And again, we have blue on the patch, blue on the earring, blue on the eyes. Really just, this is great. And I believe we have sort of a neck tie or bandana that is white. And that white matches the collar, the glove trim, and the jacket just along the waist here. Really fantastic. I'm slightly shocked that we didn't get this on the bottom of the pants, but I think, okay, so logically I look at this and I think they should have repeated this pattern on the bottom of the pants, and it, to me, it would look better if they did that, but logically it doesn't make sense because the pants are tucked in and the pants should be, you know, down here. So it wouldn't make sense to have that trim because that sort of a downy trim is attached to the jacket. And at the ends of the arms, it would be at the ends of the legs, and the ends of the legs should be down here. So it wouldn't make sense to have it there. So while, yes, visually I would like to see that there, it wouldn't make sense. So this is well considered. Great design. You have the metal on the buttons that are the same as a zipper. This is great. I think, no, I know for a fact, no. We're going to go, we're going gold, baby. We're going gold. That doesn't look gold at all. That's like a yellow. This, for me, is a golden A plus. Golden A plus. This is my favorite Peach design. Okay, thanks very much for watching the video. I hope this has been useful to you. I hope you've been able to learn something if you are interested in character design. If you are interested in character design, take a look at these characters. If you have Mario Kart World, play it, go through all of the alts and try to apply some of the design philosophy that we've discussed here today. Try and apply that to other characters and see how well other characters have been designed in terms of tonal balance, color distribution, color theming, the use of horizontal and vertical composition to break up colors. You don't want just a flat color to make things monotonous. Just, this is such a great example of how to do character designs correctly. And just to make the point, I want to do something here. We're going to remove that trim. This is such a huge part of the character. I'm trying to get over how good these designs are. We're going to remove that white highlight trim, and we're going to see how much worse it looks without that. Okay, we'll paint that over there. Okay, look how much worse this design looks. Look how much more dull, how much more plain it looks without that. And if we step back, this is great. Okay, thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me today. And I just want to leave you with one final message. I don't ask people to like or subscribe. I don't ask you to donate money. I don't ask people to sign up to Patreon. I don't care about that stuff. I'm not here to try to monetize you. But I do want to leave you with a message of positivity. Whatever you want to do in life, go for it. No matter how difficult, no matter how daunting it is, believe in yourself and go for it. Look, follow your dreams. You may not succeed, but work towards it anyway, because you've got to believe in something. You've got to fight for something. Throughout your entire life, you're going to have people that will talk shit about you. They'll insult you. They will try to tear you down. Who knows why they do that? Maybe their life isn't so great. Maybe their parents are not in a good situation and they are having a really tough time with their own life. And that's probably why people are trying to tear you down, insult you, attack you. Go easy on them. There's no reason to attack them back. Try to be understanding of other people, but also don't let them get you down. Believe in yourself, work hard, do your best. Thanks for watching. Be well.